Hello, this is the Porgcorner with your hosts Mark and Steven. We talk comics, film, books, television, science, aliens, and gaming. We come from different nerddoms. Steven lives and breathes Star Wars, and I am a Superman and DC fanatic. We also touch on the Marvel Universe and other sci-fi and fantasy franchises. Now, let's get to episode 9, our Star Wars celebration and Avengers Endgame preview. This weekend was Star Wars Celebration weekend, and Disney unveiled not one, not two, but 3 pieces of Star Wars related content coming in 2019. The first was Jedi Fallen Order, the new game by Respawn Entertainment. The second was a first look at the new Disney Plus show, The Mandalorian. And finally, we got our first look of Episode 9 and its title. We're going to go through all these topics today. Let's start with the small fish and work up to the big fish.
Okay.
So, that would mean Fallen Order first. What'd you think, Steven, of this trailer?
I'm buying the game.
Oh, that's it?
Okay.
It's the extent of the...
Review over. Everyone should buy the game.
I'm shocked that you, Steven the Star Wars fan, would buy a Star Wars game.
No, it really does look super, super cool. And I'm not like a adventure third-person type of video game player.
You have said that in the past.
So it really is interesting that I am going to buy this. EA came out and said in their Twitter, there will be no loot crates. There will be no micro purchases or whatever that's called.
Microtransactions.
That's it, microtransactions. Right. It's just going to be a storytelling game.
Yeah. That's one thing that has obviously been a big controversy recently in terms of all these games going towards a loot crate model and microtransaction model like Fortnite and stuff. Mm-hmm. So the fact that they are kind of reversing the clock and saying, hey, we remember what games are about, and it's single-player, story-driven campaign. Well,
Star Wars Battlefront got a whole lot of backlash because of that. Loot crates were just ridiculous.
Right. But in talking about the game itself, or at least the trailer that we saw, so my reaction was kind of the first reaction I had when I saw the trailers for The Force Unleashed. Do you remember that game? 10 years ago.
That's an old game.
It's old school. I'm an old guy. So no, that was a cool game, and the trailer just made you feel like, I want to go on this journey with the character. And this did the same thing. Yeah. I don't know this character's name.
I don't think anybody does.
Exactly.
I don't think we're supposed to.
And that's fine. And it's like we barely know his backstory. We just know he's a Jedi, according to the trailer.
Yeah. No, he's a Padawan who was training to be a Jedi when the Order 66 happened.
Right.
And he survived Order 66. So now he's just trying to keep his head down, survive, and not get caught.
Right. So this is going to take place basically during Revenge of the Sith era, before A New Hope, when the Empire is kind of at its strongest.
When it's on its rise. Yeah.
On its rise. Right. So that's a really good time period to explore with this. So,
I think it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
A good adventure for them to send us on.
I may even buy it.
What?
Right? Crazy.
Everybody wants to be a Jedi. I mean, that's the whole point. It's a story to become a Jedi.
Right. And I mean, think of it this way. They can set this up so well for sequels. Because he's growing into becoming a Jedi, or someone who knows the Force, right around when The New Hope takes place. So in sequel number 2, 3, we could see his growth as a character.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see where it ends for him.
Right.
Obviously. It may be a standalone story.
That's true.
And they might, because the Star Wars universe is so massive that spin-offs of their own are constantly available.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would love to see is a storyline game like this taken from the position of a stormtrooper. Or an Imperial, somebody on their trying to rise within the Empire.
So I think Battlefront 2, which I did not play, I played Battlefront 1, but Battlefront 2 had a campaign mode, where I think the main character was a stormtrooper or some Imperial officer.
Okay.
And we were, as a protagonist, we were rooting for her because we were playing her.
Oh, you're right. I do remember seeing that in the trailer.
Yeah. It was. I only saw the trailer. I never played the game, so maybe she switches to the Rebel side or something. But I thought that was an interesting way to go about it. So, mention that. So this game comes out in November of this year, so a few more months, and
November 15th to be exact.
Thanks for the corrections.
Yeah.
November 15th. You know where Steve's gonna be. He's gonna be can't be outside GameStop for a week before release.
Oh.
All right, let's get to topic number 2, which was this is something I've been excited about for a while. We touched on it, I think, in a previous episode. The Mandalorian is a
Yeah.
new series that's going to be debuting with Disney Plus, the new streaming service by Disney. And they released, well, Disney didn't release it, but it was leaked. This
Yeah.
kind of behind the scenes preview of it.
Yeah, yeah.
What'd you think of that
During the Star Wars celebration, somebody filmed the
Right.
the
course they
trailer
did.
that was aired for them
It
only.
was probably a Disney employee.
It
you
probably
know,
was.
build
It was
hype.
probably intentional.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. We've talked about it before. Like one of my favorite characters is Boba Fett, and he's a Mandalorian. This is not Boba Fett. This is a totally different Mandalorian. Still a bounty hunter. Most Mandalorians are.
Yeah, I mean, in the little preview they gave us, like it's definitely nomadic and solitary. Like it opens like a lot of Star Wars films do, like a guy in a desert, like or I think he was in a
Always-
snowstorm. Or
Always in a
something.
desert.
Yeah, a desert or a snowstorm, one of the
Uh-huh.
two, and he walks into like a bar.
Yeah.
Like I feel like every Star Wars scene, like
There's always a
starts with that.
tavern.
Yeah, a tavern, and he looks like an awesome character. Like just the appearance of him
Mhm.
looks pretty badass. He has like a sniper rifle or something.
Yeah, he's
carrying.
got a long rifle across his back. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
you know what's really exciting about this project for me is that the talent behind behind the camera
Yeah.
is so good.
You love that.
Oh, absolutely.
You love it when they pull like quality people.
Yeah.
Put 'em in, yeah.
Like the characters are great and they
Mm-hmm.
can get you far, but and the actors too. But it's like you need a director like John Favreau, who's like
Yeah,
I think
he's
he's
gonna make it.
executive producing it.
Yeah, he's gonna make it great.
Yeah. They also have John Famua, I think is how you pronounce his name. He did Dope, the movie Dope.
That's a good movie.
So Disney stole him from WB.
Wow.
He was going to do the Flash originally. They have Taika Waititi, who did Thor Ragnarok. So like they got high quality
Yeah.
talent.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, because you have to. I mean, I think you have to in the sense that you're competing with yourself in the Star Wars. So you're competing with movies. If you're gonna say we're gonna do a TV series, but it's got to live up to the hype and the quality and the standard that Star Wars fans are looking for.
right. And this is the first live action
It's the first.
Star Wars, which is crazy to think about. It's been around for 40 years. They've never attempted this before.
Yeah. Well, before Disney, George Lucas, he didn't have the backing for it. He didn't have enough money to do this. He didn't have Disney.
Right.
He didn't have everything that Disney
That
has.
Disney money, yeah.
Disney money. To create all of these pieces that he wanted to eventually build out.
Well, that's why like they've had the books for all these years.
Yeah,
'cause-
books are easy. They're
Right.
inexpensive to produce and make and write, and so yeah, compared to building out a TV show that lives up to a movie hype standard.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, that, and it's good we mentioned that because Dave Filoni, the famous Star Wars writer of books and canon, he, I think, is a writer on this project, The
Awesome.
Mandalorian. So,
Awesome.
I mean, I think a lot of fans are going to be excited about that.
So they're pulling all the guns out. They're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're putting a lot of effort into this. It's clear, even just
Yeah.
from the preview. So,
And it's supposed to be a 10-episode series. And I believe it's a mini-series, so I believe it's only 10 episodes.
and they're going to end it.
That's what they've said, but I guarantee you that if it's a hit like it is, we already know it's going to be,
Right.
they'll do more. Or maybe just spin-offs or continue to make other, miniseries.
That's funny because with hiring such talent, they probably had to limit it because of funds. Like when you get a good
Yeah.
big name and
That's exactly what my thought was, is that they said, we're going to do a mini-series, 10 episodes, so we can put all this money into it. That way they didn't have to follow up with season 2
Right.
if they couldn't afford it for next, to do a second
Right.
season.
it's exactly the HBO model with
Yeah.
like the premium shows like True Detective. I think those are like 6 episodes
Yeah.
each season.
Yeah.
So that's the same idea: high quality talent, short runs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems like it's going to work. Like they announced that the streaming service will be $6.99 a month. Like I'm pretty sure I'm going to sign up for it.
Yeah, I'm signed up for that.
That's
It's ridiculously cheap.
Okay, so that brings us to the big kahuna here, Big Daddy, the big deal.
Yeah.
Are
Are you going to say it, or do you want me to say it? Are you going to say it, or do you want me to say it?
the huge announcement?
The huge announcement. The whole reason
The whole-
that Star Wars Celebration
The
just
whole reason behind their name,
happened. The whole reason.
and that is
You did.
Episode 9. They finally released the teaser trailer for
Uh-huh,
it, and they gave the announcement of the title too.
Yeah, the title of it.
So well, before we get into it, I thought they were gonna like announce the title first, like on its own.
Oh, really?
That's what was my assumption,
Oh.
but they did it with a trailer, so I was like,
They've done it with all three of them, though.
oh, they
Yeah,
always
or the previous two. They did the
okay.
teaser with the name of the movie.
See,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that,
Yeah.
but it's called The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
Is
Star
episode-
Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Right, Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker,
Mhm.
and so let's start with first of all, what do you think of the title? Let's start there, actually.
Of the title.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it raises so many questions. Who's what's rising of a Skywalker? Is it Luke's post mortem is now rised as a Force ghost and he's able to help and guide Rey and maybe some other future Jedi, or is it have something to do with Kylo Ren?
Right,
Being
'cause
Leia's,
he's a Skywalker.
yeah, he's a Skywalker. So is he the final Skywalker in the timeline? And I know this is one I'm not a fan of, but some people think Rey is a Skywalker. They've said that for a long time, and I just don't want that to be the case. Just for me personally, it's not going to change the movie for me in any way if she is a Skywalker.
Right.
But I felt after the last movie where we kind of got some answers that it just wouldn't lend itself smoothly to the belief that she is a Skywalker.
So I was talking to a friend who's also a big Star Wars nerd like you, or one theory that he's tossing around is because The Last Jedi was Luke dying,
Uh-huh.
The Last Skywalker is
The Rise of Skywalker.
the Jedi's basically transition into being renamed essentially. That now they're going to be renamed for Skywalkers.
Oh, right. No, okay, you're absolutely right. That was one of the ideas I had too. Is because remember, so in this last movie, Luke was trying to change the view on the Jedi belief, the religion.
Right.
Like it's not always the correct answer, the Jedi way. So is it now the new religion? Is this the Skywalker religion, which is what your friend is trying to get at to? Yes, I actually said that as soon as I saw the trailer. I popped out of my office and I was like, "It's gonna be a new religion."
So a religion called Skywalker.
Yeah.
So you seem excited about that prospect if they go that route.
Again, because that falls under something that I can accept
Yeah.
more than if it's. I don't want Rey to be a Skywalker.
That seems so predictable.
It's
I mean,
too easy.
It would be too easy.
Yeah.
So I do like this idea. So the Jedi are gone,
Mm-hmm.
but
but
a
it's
new
a whole
force
new
rises.
new form
Right.
of the Jedi religion based around Luke Skywalker's kind of belief and modifications to the Jedi Order.
It's the religious allegories. I won't get into details of it, but it's like it's so right there for it. Because think of it, Anakin is the father, Luke is the son, and then you have a whole religion based around the son potentially.
Sure.
Like
Yeah, I
very
get it.
religious
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there. So
Yeah.
I think that might be the right answer. Like I think
I hope
everything
so.
fits with
That
it.
would be really cool because she took the books. So she has the
Right.
original text of the Jedi Order religion. So she's gonna read them.
She's a
gonna
Luke
learn.
disciple.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically,
Yeah.
from what we got from The Last Jedi. So that would make The Last Jedi, by the way, I think, feel a lot better.
I think so too. If
You
J.J.
know, and-
Abrams can really whittle this one into a sharp pencil, then
Right.
he can really connect the dots with the last
And
movie.
he's good at
He's really good at that.
he's always been good at that with
Mhm.
all his series and
Mhm.
and movies and all of that. So okay, let's talk about the trailer itself. Like we talked about the title. So the trailer opens with Rey on some desert planet. It could be Tatooine. It could be Jakku. What are the other ones? There are a lot of desert planets.
Oh, there's a lot.
all the above.
But it's definitely gonna be one of those two.
I was thinking it was like her home planet.
It's probably Jakku.
Yeah, Jakku. Or Jeddah was the one in Rogue One, I think, right?
Yeah, but again, that's not a part of the storyline, so I don't think they would connect those two.
Right. Well, it opens with that, and then you see Kylo Ren's TIE fighter in the distance, kind of speeding towards her. And she takes out her Luke's lightsaber.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Luke Skywalker, and she flips over and presumably destroys it. We don't know. It cuts the
we
line.
don't know what happens. I mean, we also don't know if that's actually Kylo Ren.
And I don't think it is.
You don't? I don't. The only because we don't see who's flying it.
Right.
We only see the gloves of the
Right.
pilot, and those are Kylo's style gloves.
It's true.
But I don't know if it's him or not. And then yes, Rey has Luke's lightsaber, which broke in the last one. It broke in the Force battle between her and Kylo.
Right.
So is it Did she reassemble it? Did she go somewhere to put the pieces together? Is this not even real? Is this, something that's happening in her mind? We don't know if this is actually something real. Um, and then, but to my point of the possibility that Kylo is the rise of Skywalker, what if they're training together? What if it's not an attack? What if it's actually training?
The reason why I would not buy that theory is because also in this trailer they show Kylo lightsabering a dude like in the forest
but
with the stormtroopers fighting alongside him.
Right, but the guy who he punches in the chest looks like some of those Knights of Ren. Which were not brought in the last movie, but were referenced in the first one.
That could be interesting. But why would he have? He would have a squad of stormtroopers to help him do that. Like that's the one thing that got me. Like, okay, he's still on the dark side. Like,
and again, it's a trailer, so we don't know when these the trailer's not in order of the production of the movie, so it could be pulled from any point in time in the movie.
Right. It could even be a flashback.
It could be a flashback, right? Because if it is the Knights of Ren, because we're constantly asking what happened to his Knights of Ren,
right?
In it, and we've seen him stab one of them,
right?
When he's interacting with Rey in her Force vision when she touched the lightsaber for the first time. So we don't know what happened with the Knights of Ren, and I hope that that's answered here.
Yeah, that's one of the questions that was not answered in the last one, and you want to have that resolved.
Yeah.
One other thing, it's not a question per se, but it's one aspect of this trailer that I absolutely love, was that they showed him repairing the helmet that he smashed in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's going to be real cool because it's going to be all like welded together.
Right.
It's going to look cool when it's done.
That was one thing that always frustrated me about The Last Jedi was like, I was like, okay, you can say masks are stupid, but Vader is an iconic villain partly because of James Earl Jones' voice and his look.
Yeah.
And like I thought Kylo's look was pretty good in The Force Awakens.
It was, but his mentor, his father figure, if you will, that said, "Why are you wearing a mask? Are you trying to be somebody else?" Making fun of him for trying to be Vader.
Right.
But I feel, and we constantly in the last movie saw him kind of have that internal battle between good and the dark and the light. Talking with Rey and heard the Force visions and conversations and everything. So I don't know. Like breaking the helmet in the last movie was kind of a metaphorical more than it was factual. Like, oh crap, he
right.
He broke his helmet.
Yeah, I know what they were going for, obviously, with it. I just like the mask. It's cool.
I definitely got the vibe that he was going to bring it back.
Okay.
So I wasn't worried about it when he broke it in the last one. I knew by this final movie that it would definitely he'd be wearing it again.
Although, and it's funny, they did show that, but they don't show him wearing it too. So
no,
we won't
but
see what else.
I'll give you a little hint. They did release the packaging for the toys that are going to be for this movie, and he is on the front top left corner of the packaging, and the helmet has red weld lines in it. So he's wearing a welded helmet that's been repaired.
That's gonna look really cool.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Okay, so let's talk about some other elements of this trailer. They do quick flashes of like Finn and Poe. I don't know if they have any other characters that they show.
Well, C-3PO's with them on that speeder and running away. And then they show BB-8 again, and he's got a little buddy. It's like a single wheel with like a little cone on top of it.
I did not catch that.
Yeah, it's real quick, and I forgot what they gave him a name because they introduced him at Celebration, at Star Wars Celebration. And I can't think of his name what his code is right this second.
Okay. So those. So they have a few other characters they show. Oh, and the big one. You want to tell the audience?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Lando.
Oh.
So they show Lando.
Yeah.
In this trailer as well.
Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that he's back in it. Yeah. And he's wearing his like iconic yellow shirt, which is like the last thing we saw him wearing in the Solo movie.
Right.
So he's bringing it all full circle.
Right.
They didn't show her. I don't think they showed her, but IMDb lists that the actress who plays Rose will be playing Rose again.
Okay.
So she's in the movie as well.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I think the big one. The big one we haven't talked about yet is the very end of the trailer.
Right.
The super iconic laughter
that was
of Emperor Palpatine.
Dude, if there's ever a way to bring something home, that was bringing something home.
Oh my gosh,
in the trailer.
It was so good. And it was right after you see the destroyed Death Star 2,
Like the shell of
the shell of the Death Star 2 in the water,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to a black screen, and you think the trailer's pretty much over, and then Palpatine, his laugh just rumbles through your speakers. I was like, oh my gosh.
So what do you think this means?
Two options, and these are the only viable options, because if you say clone, I'm gonna flip out. Because it's not a clone.
All the answers are clones.
It's not a clone.
Raise parents
It
clones.
would be too easy, and I do not accept clone. He's either still alive, which is very possible. If you read any of the books, he just keeps popping up in places that he shouldn't have, and that's in his lifetime when he was alive. Then the other one is that possibly he's a Force ghost
Okay.
for the dark side.
Right.
You know, still manipulating things, still kind of controlling things and guiding, the dark side.
Have we seen dark side Force ghosts in the movies? I'm not talking
We
about...
have not.
Yeah.
However, we have seen Darth Vader, aka Anakin Skywalker, come back as a Force ghost,
yeah.
a good Force ghost. But that doesn't mean that it's only light or dark.
Right.
It could be whomever. I just think it's who's been training to do it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the first prequel movies, the end of it, Yoda tells Obi-Wan, I have some new training for you to work on in your solitude. And it's how to do this Force ghost.
Okay. So, which out of the two you mentioned with Palpatine, what would you want to see? Because I know what I want to see.
Oh my gosh, I think I'd rather him be alive.
Yeah, me
How
too.
cool would that be?
Totally want him alive.
That he's still
man.
like on Endor, just like living in the ruins. But that's what people keep saying is like he's alive, living in the ruins, and I'm like, but he's Emperor Palpatine. Like, why would he just wander around in the ruins of Death Star instead of like coming to light and like helping the Empire grow?
So
again?
I have a theory that's totally going to be wrong, but I'm going to put it out there anyway,
Alright.
so you can laugh at it. And this is what I think. He is injured. Remember he fell a lot, so
Yep.
he's injured. Who knows what shape he's in? And he is somehow able to inhabit or create Snoke. Because we never got an answer for who Snoke is.
Yeah, I hope they answer that.
Right, so he's
in
able...
just like one sentence would be fine. I just need an answer for
Right.
where he comes from.
So think of Snoke as like an avatar of Palpatine. I don't know how he did it, but that would, I think that would be a good way of explaining what's happened to him.
Yeah, that could be. I mean, a lot of people thought that in the first one, who is Snoke? And a lot of people were like, well, maybe he's just a figment of the Emperor, which is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have heard that. I don't think it's that crazy.
He's like a Force ghost of the Emperor,
Right.
but
Yeah.
actually exists.
But he's real. Yeah.
But he's real.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I think the idea of Palpatine surviving that fall is perfect. It goes in line with Darth Maul
He
surviving.
survives his giant fall. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people fall. I mean, there's, in legend and everything, there's several Jedi and Siths that fall from great distances and they survive.
Yeah.
You
So
know?
and it's cool to just see Death Star 2 again, man.
Yeah.
Because like Return is like my favorite Star Wars film,
Yeah.
and part of it is because of Death Star 2. It's so cool. It's just iconic.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, so we have to assume that it's either crashed on Endor or one of the moons off of Endor,
Right.
because the battle that we like so much in Return is the moon of Endor, and that's where the force field that's protecting it is being beamed up and protecting this Death Star.
Right. So it's a different planet, but in that same or different.
Yeah. It just
body.
depends on how close the Death Star was to whichever planet or moon that got gravity that pulled it in as it crashed.
Really, to end the trailer on that note, with seeing Death Star and Palpatine, I think was perfect. I'm super hyped for this movie now. And before I was like hyped, I was like excited, but now I'm like, oh, I'm in. Like,
Oh gosh,
I'm
I know.
so in for this. And that's a really good feeling to have. Star Wars feels back in a way.
It does. It's got some strength to it. Yeah.
Right, which is good to see. Were there any other elements of the trailer that like stood out to you that you're excited about, or we covered it, right?
I think we covered it. I mean, those are all the main things that I wanted to make sure that we talked to our listeners about.
Yeah.
See the teaser. and then go see the movie.
Yeah, skip all the trailers. That's Steven's theory.
Yeah, don't watch the trailers. You'll get too much information for the movie before you go into it. I just can't. Teasers only.
Yeah.
That's where I stop.
So let us know in the comments, like on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at the Porgcorner, what are your theories of episode 9, really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you think all of this means?
Mm-hmm.
So leave us a comment, have a conversation. So let's move on to the other big movie of 2019, because these will be the two biggest movies.
These will be the
clearly.
two biggest.
Avengers Endgame comes out in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Holy crap.
Ooh, we are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 years of the MCU was all leading towards this.
Yep.
They've had a few teasers, they've had some full trailers, and they've released some clips.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you haven't watched all of them.
Now I've watched the teaser, and I believe I watched the last trailer that came out pretty recently.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been hit or miss with it. You know, like I just know I want to see it.
Right.
They don't.
That's my
they don't
thought.
really
It's like
need
you
trailers.
guys don't have to promote it. We're gonna see it.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be there.
Yeah.
They could have like one tweet from marketing.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame is out.
Right. Are you guys ready?
And it would make $2 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you have any like theories? Like everyone's talking about who's gonna die, because like again, all these actors are real life actors. They've been playing these characters for 10 years.
Yeah.
They're gonna hang up the capes at some point.
Yeah.
So who do you think is gonna die out of the main
Oh.
10-year group?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I feel strongly that Captain America. I think he's going down. Not because I want him to go down, but because he's the type of person that puts himself in front of the... He literally jumps on the grenade.
Right.
Right? So I really feel like he's going to take himself out on accident.
You know what would be great if they bring it full circle and that's how he goes out? Like he jumps on a grenade.
Jumps on a grenade, right, just like he did prior to being super. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be very good, like a character arc there. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you think Captain America is like the most likely?
I think he's the most... Yeah, I think so. I think he's the one that will hurt us all the most when he dies.
So I think it's gonna be Iron Man. I think it's gonna be Robert Downey Jr.
You think Stark's gonna die?
I mean, again, he's the one who started this all. The dude's like what, like 50 something or 60 years old at this point.
Yeah, he's pretty done.
Yeah, and honestly, his solo films, except for the first one that started all, have been the worst out of the core group. We're talking Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man. So I just don't see where you go with the character at this point, and I feel like Robert Downey Jr.'s actor is probably thinking the same thing. Like, what is his arc at this point that you could continue the story with? I think he has to take down Thanos, or he's going to be one of the key pieces.
Yeah.
He may be the final, like, dagger, you know?
Yeah.
And dies.
Yeah, maybe.
So I think that's the most likely candidate. And then finally, or the final question with Endgame, the most important of all, who's the big gun?
Who's the big gun? When you're talking about who's bigger, who's the big gun? Thor or Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Who's gonna hurt the most people?
You're right, exactly. Who would win in an arm wrestle?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know. That's a tough one. You lean towards Thor, and I think the reason is because we've seen him do so much damage. We've had an opportunity to watch him do it.
Right.
Whereas we've only had this one Captain Marvel movie, and we haven't even had her as like a secondary character in anything else. So we've only seen her one time.
Right.
And she does the same amount of damage that Thor could do in that one big battle scene. We've just seen Thor do it more often.
That's true.
And he's got that giant new hammer.
The Stormbreaker.
The Stormbreaker.
Which freaking destroyed the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and you know what's cool with Captain Marvel too is that she literally becomes that really powerful character in the last like 15 minutes of the film.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
so we still don't have full power Captain Marvel.
Right. She could get more powerful.
More than we don't know what she's been doing for 2 decades, 3 decades.
So what I want to see, well, I think Captain Marvel is going to be the big gun. I think that's what they're going to decide to do, but I think it should be Thor for this reason. We only got a glimpse of him with Stormbreaker in Infinity War. Like, he was in, like, what?
Yeah.
2 minutes?
Yeah, he showed up at the end of the battle.
We
of
barely
Wakanda.
saw what he could do at full power.
Yeah.
So, I want to see him just unleashed.
So, Stormbreaker, is it like the hammer? Can nobody pick it up except for Thor?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Groot picks it up. Because remember, his arm, he uses his branches to create the handle for it while it's still hot.
Well, he doesn't pick it up. It's part of him.
He picks up the 2 pieces, slams them together, goes up, and then breaks his arm off, so he's got a handle for the hammer now.
I don't know, man. Maybe Groot's just worthy.
Yeah, it's Groot worthy.
I mean, that's what it is, right?
I am Groot.
Yeah, Avengers Endgame is in 2 weeks, and I think really the most important question at this point, which is going to make more money, Star Wars Episode 9
Oh, easy.
or Avengers Endgame?
No, Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh,
Easy.
I'm taking the other one,
Oh,
man.
really? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Because Avengers Infinity War is only $20 million less at the box office than The Force Awakens. That tells you something.
Yeah, you're telling me Star Wars beat Infinity Games. And they didn't even come out in the same year, so.
Star Wars had the advantage of December release.
Yep.
But, alright, this is going to end it all. That's why I think Endgame's going to win. There's no more story after this. Everyone has to
This
do this.
ends the Skywalker story as well. This is the end of the Skywalker story. They said that. So your argument still does not stand. They're both coming to an end.
Alright, well, I'm going to stick with my prediction.
No,
and
Star Wars is gonna win
we'll have to
that one.
bet something fun. We'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll do something.
We'll
do
think of a
something
bet later
Yeah,
on
yeah.
in another episode. So, okay, so let's get to third part of the episode.
All right. Let's jump right into our Emperor Palpatine lightning round.
You really are going with this.
I'm sticking with the
every
name.
episode.
I love it. Emperor Palpatine lightning round.
I guess it's more appropriate than ever with the episode 9 teaser.
Yeah. It works here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
All right, what do you got for me today?
All right, lightning round topic for today: the Incredible Hulk.
Nice.
All right, we're
That's a good
gonna
topic.
test some of your Incredible Hulk knowledge here, Mark.
Okay.
All right, this one's a tough one, and it's multiple choice. Let me ask you the question, and I'll give you the choices.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
What is Bruce Banner's full name? He's a three-part name. All right. Is his name David Bruce Banner, Robert Bruce Banner, Devin Bruce Banner, or Ryan Bruce Banner?
I would not think any of them. Thank you for doing multiple choice because I would never have guessed any of those. Oh man. Can you say the first one? The first one was David.
David.
Bruce?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say David Bruce Banner. Hey.
Burnt wrong.
Oh.
His name is Robert Bruce Banner.
Wow.
Why? Because you could be Bob Bruce Banner and stick with the BBB.
Wow.
Because Marvel always does first name, last name with the matching first letter.
Well, everyone does that too.
Yeah, they most of
Lex
all of them do,
Luthor. Yeah.
I believe David Bruce Banner is his father's name.
Oh.
So that should have been a helpful elimination right there.
That's a good question.
Okay. All right, number 2. Has the Hulk ever been on the cover of any non-comic book publication?
I'm gonna say yes. He's existed for so long.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. In 1971, the Rolling Stone had him on the cover. They did an article on all the stories of Marvel, including the characters and the writers.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they put Hulk.
And then Hulk was on the cover.
Very nice.
Very cool, isn't it?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Here's an easy one. Who plays the Hulk in the 1970s TV series?
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno.
That show was so awesome.
It was so bad. It was so fun.
the prosthetics and the makeup.
He was so bad.
it's
He didn't wear prosthetics.
Or not prosthetics, the makeup.
It was just him being ripped, and then
green. I'm just thinking
they
like
just
green.
and they just painted him green. They
Painted
didn't even use
him green,
like body paint. They just used like paint. They just painted him green.
Oh, and they gave him that wig or
And
whatever.
they gave him a really bad wig. Yeah. All right. Question 4. What is the Hulk made of?
Gamma radiation.
Yeah, gamma radiation.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah, that's real easy.
So I got three for 4.
3 for 4. Yeah. All right. Question number 5.
Oh, the final one.
No. Number 6 is the final one. I got
Oh.
6 questions. So number 5. This is a tough one. Who's stronger, the Hulk or Thor?
Hulk.
The answer is Thor.
No.
Yes. This is taken from an interview with Stan Lee himself.
Huh.
And he says because the Hulk is mortal and Thor is a Norse god.
Huh. So the reason I was saying Hulk is stronger, where my theory is he's physically stronger, but Thor is more powerful. There's a difference between strength and power.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I did some research.
You did some
and
nerd research.
I did some neat nerd research.
All
And
right.
you're right. Like one of the pulling from the comic books, Thor could only pick up like 2 sexthousandths of a pound, whatever that means. I don't know. But the Hulk at one point held open a black hole.
Of course he did.
Of course he did, right?
'Cause comics.
And apparently that's 2.5 million sextillion. I don't know how to say
How
how
do-
big this number is, but 2 versus 2 million.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how much stronger.
Did you do
Thor
that
is.
calculation yourself?
You know me. Just 3.33 repeating.
Okay,
No.
so that
Somebody
was a
else gave me
theory you saw on the internet. They were saying he is stronger.
physically stronger. However, he is mortal.
So
Thor has the immortality that kind of helps him.
I'll tell you what. I'm not in the business of going against Stanley. So
Yeah. Yeah. And that was in an interview in like 2001. Final question, number 6. What ranking did the Hulk receive in the 2015 50 greatest superheroes in comic book history?
so I really like that you're going back to this.
Yeah, I
'cause-
wanted to kind of bring that one in with each one of these superhero questions
Yeah,
I have
that's
for you. Yeah.
that's a good one. And I'm gonna say he's pretty low. I'm gonna say he's like 42.
Ooh.
I'm
You
not
really
giving
lowballing him.
I'm not giving him any respect right now.
No respect. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
He came in 10th.
What?
Yes! He's the 10th greatest superhero of all time.
That's bogus.
I didn't make it up.
Well, okay, so 10th is respectable. So obviously this was not my best moment in terms of these quizzes.
You were better at Batman than you are at the Hulk.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
makes sense. I'm more of a
Yeah.
DC guy,
Right,
so there
right.
you go.
So I wanted to throw you a Marvel and see how you did.
Yeah. Okay, I'm looking forward to the next one.
We'll see what the next one has for us.
All right, so that's gonna do it for episode 9, our Star Wars Celebration and Avengers Endgame preview episode. Next episode in 2 weeks will be our Avengers Endgame review. It's finally gonna be here.
Yeah,
man.
in 2 weeks we will have seen the movie and we're reviewing it for you guys.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Remember to like, share, comment. Let us know your thoughts on episode 9 and Avengers Endgame, like what you want to see, what your theories are, all of that. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at the Porgcorner. For Steven, this is Mark. Till next time, guys. Bye.